One of the biggest things that stops people from trying to make goat milk soap is their fear of the unknown. They know that soap making is unique. They've been told that it involves lye on some level, but they don't know more than that, and that keeps them stuck in fear and overwhelm because they just don't know what to expect. They don't know what the process is going to be like. They don't know what might happen. They don't know if this could explode. They don't they don't know anything, and it just keeps them stuck in this spot of overwhelm and just not knowing how to move forward. Making soap is not scary or hard, and managing the chemical reaction here is not scary or hard, but it is different. And you just need to understand what's going on here so that you can move forward with confidence. So let's dive into soap making chemistry. The first thing to understand here is that soap making is chemistry and not cooking. And I know that this is a common question because people will come to our craft show table. We have a soap making business and we sell soaps at different craft shows and things. And they will come to our table and look at our soaps. And we of course use lye. It's on our label. It's listed right there, either lye or sodium hydroxide. And they'll ask us, why would you put lye in your soap? Like we're trying to do this terrible thing to get, this thing on their skin that's going to burn them and make their skin be bad. And it's like they're accusing us a little bit, like, why would you do that? Why would you put lye in your soap? And it shows me that they just don't understand that lye is actually an essential component to the soap making process. You can't just leave it out. It's not optional. Now, let's think about it from the other side for a minute. Let's think about it from the cooking side. If you were making a batch of brownies and you had the chocolate brownie batter all mixed up and you wanted to add some peanut butter to that to make peanut butter brownies, you would take some peanut butter and mix it into the batter and, bake the brownies. And later on, when you cut the brownies and took a bite, you would be able to taste the chocolate and the peanut butter both in those brownies. They're existing side by side in those brownies and they're complementary. They taste good together, but they're not like fully combined. You can still taste each one individually. In chemistry, it's a very different process that happens. We're not mixing the two things that we're going to be reacting are oils or fats and lye. That's what you'll be reacting when you're making your soap batch. And in that reaction, we're not just mixing them together so that we have an oily lye in the end. It's a chemical reaction called saponification, which is the reacting of oils or fats with lye to make soap. When those two things come together, a chemical reaction starts, and these two things are coming together to make something very new. And it's a law of chemistry that when you bring two reactants together to make this new thing, these ingredients, that the thing that they create, it has its own properties. It doesn't retain the properties of the two things that came together. An example of this that you're very familiar with is table salt. Table salt is sodium and chloride. And those two things are toxic. You can't eat either one. Chloride is what they make bleach and pool chlorine out of. You can't eat that. But when you bring them together and react them chemically, that law of chemistry says that the atoms come together to form this brand new thing. And that law of chemistry says this brand new thing has its own properties. In cooking, if you put two things together that were poisonous, the thing you made would be doubly poisonous. But in chemistry, this new thing that is created by the sodium and the chloride is table salt. And that's a seasoning. You can use it on food. It's safe to ingest. So it didn't retain the poisonous properties of its two ingredients. It has its own properties. Same thing happening in soap making. The oils or the fats that we're using and the lye come together and their atoms reform into this new thing that is a pure natural soap that is great for your skin. Now, the thing that is very important in this process is that we measure very carefully. You're going to need a scale that reads to the 10th of an ounce, and we want to make sure we have just enough oils to use up all the lye and just enough lye to react all the oils so that when we bring them together, they use each other up and there's not any of either one left, and all you have in your bar is a pure natural soap that's going to be great for your skin. It's not going to have the chemicals in it that makes your skin feel dry and gross after you get out of the shower and you have to run for the lotion. This is the product that we're creating. Now, you have to understand this reality, because someday when you start making soap, somebody's going to ask you, why do you put lye in your soap? And you're going to need to know that answer, because you're going to need to, first of all, be able to answer that question for yourself. Because once your soap is cured and it's time to use it, you know you put lye in it. So you're going to want to have that confidence that there is not lye left in the soap. All you have is soap in your soap. But then later, when someone else asks you, why do you put lye in your soap? You need to understand this process so that you can answer that question confidently. This is just the process that happens in making our bar of soap. What it looks like is you have your oils and you're going to pour the lye into the oils. And as you start to blend, it starts to thicken. And the more you blend, the thicker it gets, so that when you pour it into the mold, pretty soon you can watch it thicken. It will be thick enough to hold its shape in several hours. You could probably still stick your thumb in it, but it'll be, thick enough to hold its shape in a couple of hours. It'll be thick enough to come out of the mold and be cut in a couple of days. So that's the process. That's what's happening. And you don't cook it. You don't have to freeze it. You don't have to do anything else. This is just that saponification process happening and turning those oils or fats and lye into a pure bar soap that's going to be amazing, amazing for your skin, and is just a lot of fun to create as well. In our next video, we're going to talk more about the lye. You need to understand what lye is, how it behaves, what to expect, and also what you need to do to protect yourself as you are working with lye. This is a very important piece of the learning, piece of the knowledge that you need before you get into soap making, so that you make sure you are handling this in a way that's going to be good for the soap and is not going to be damaging to you or your skin. So I'll see you in the next video.